today I'm back to film my July favorites and unfavorites. I kind of decided to leave honorable mentions out just because I'll kind of include them at the end of my favorites. That way I can kind of just say, hey, this is something I've been trying out this month, but I haven't really had enough time to test it. Or I kind of think I like this product, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Just kind of whatever I feel like would fall into the honorable mentions category, I'll kind of just put at the end of the favorites just to make this a little bit easier. I feel like it just gets a little confusing, at least for me, even having 3 categories. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with the favorites. This month was a little wishy-washy. I feel like things either worked really, really well for me or things just were a total fail. And this last month, I was pretty into masks, but I wasn't really using my Project Pan one very well. I've kind of since gotten in a better habit of using my Project Pan one at least once a week and then using a different mask once a week. But this is kind of another one that I was using, and I just was using pretty much because of the name. This is the Freeman Feeling Beautiful Facial Anti-Stress Mask with Dead Sea Minerals. The fact that it said anti-stress was just what I needed. Kind of knowing that I was going to be leaving Ulta and just a lot of changes coming up. It was back to school time, and back to school time is always chaotic for me. I swear it's always chaotic. I just knew, like, I just wanted something to just de-stress. And this was kind of nice because it's a very cooling, kind of relaxing mask. It does kind of tighten up as it dries, but it's not an intense, like, tightening. I have a different mask that I'll talk about in my empties video that is severely, like, tightening, and it's actually from Freeman. But this one does claim to clear pores and smooth skin. I don't feel like it does a fantastic job of clearing pores. It does kind of just get, like, the surface gunk off, at least, I feel like, and it does make your skin feel incredibly smooth. But I mostly liked this just because it was a nice way for me to, like, relax and kind of de-stress a little bit. To just take a half an hour, 20 minutes, I don't know, I think it says you're supposed to leave it on for like 15, but I normally do like half an hour. And just kind of let it just sit and just relax while it's sitting. So that's kind of why I enjoy these, is it does help me actually make myself sit down and relax a little bit instead of just constantly like going and doing something. So this I really enjoyed, and I'll definitely, you know, keep using it to kind of remind myself it's time to just take a break for myself. I do have a strawberries and chocolate one as well that's really good, but the scent of this one is really nice and relaxing. The strawberry chocolate one obviously makes me a little bit more like hungry, and I don't know, it doesn't really, it's relaxing too, I guess, but I just prefer this one more for relaxing stuff. So it's no secret that my hair is quite blonde. I have a lot of roots right now because I was thinking that I was going to go darker with my hair and I was going to do it this month, but I'm thinking I might just wait another month because it's just too stressful right now for me to like try to change my hair color, because I do my hair myself, and for me to change it myself I was going to have to do a bunch of different colors and a bunch of different things, and I was like, I just really kind of don't have the time for that right now. So tonight I'm just going to re-bleach the roots and tone it and be done with it for at least another month or so, and then I'll probably go darker with it, but either way, it's going to be blonde. It's just either going to be a darker blonde or it's going to be this blonde. But because of that, I have a lot of blonde hair products, and this is the It's a 10 Miracle Leave-In Conditioner for Blondes. I actually recommend this for everyone. Black hair, brown hair, red hair, any hair color, pretty much, I recommend this. And a lot of people are like, why would you recommend this one over the original one? The reason is this one actually is better for color-treated hair in my opinion. The main reason why is it has a UV protectant in it. So I know a lot of people, family members and stuff that I color their hair, they say that their hair color fades pretty quickly, and especially during the summertime because they're out in the sun and the sun is fading the hair color. I know with my grandma, one of my grandmas, it is crazy. I'll color her hair. She'll be outside for like 2 weeks straight pretty much because they have a garden and stuff, so they're growing like sweet corn and all this stuff. Anyways, in those 2 weeks, her hair will be like a totally different color because the sun has pretty much bleached it out. So, I mean, if you have hair-colored hair, this UV protectant really, really helps with that. But I personally obviously just like it because since I have bleach blonde hair, it's a little bit more on the damaged side. Bleach blonde is a little bit harder on your hair. Bleaching on your hair in general is a lot harder than just coloring it. But this does help a lot more with that because it helps restore elasticity and strength. I think that some of the other It's a 10s ones might say that, but the fact that this has a UV protectant in there too makes it great for summertime. And I've just been in love with this month. It makes my hair super soft, it's super manageable, and I've just kind of liked the fact that it has that nice UV protectant in here, especially with it being summertime and, you know, you're swimming, you're out doing things, so I love this. Another huge favorite this month, again, has to kind of go with being outside and being at the pool. This is the Murad Essential C Day Moisturizer. This is just a little sample size, and you can see mine's almost gone. I have like 3 or 4 of these. I think I've already finished like 1 or 2, so this is like my 3rd one. But the reason I love this so much is I was using the Ulta brand spray-on sunscreen while we were at the pool. And my son is very, very lucky. Like, I could forget to put sunscreen on him and he doesn't get burnt. He just gets really, really tan. Like, if you guys could see him, he does not look, it doesn't even really look like we're related, because I am so white and he is so tan. It's something he gets from his dad, but his dad's really not that tan right now anyways because he works so much, so he's not really outdoors very much. But again, tangent, he's just super, super tan. But obviously when we go to the pool, I slather him up with sunscreen, I slather myself up with sunscreen. We both use the Ulta brand one, and I end up getting pretty burnt in places. However, my shoulders is just one spot that always just gets super, super burnt. So I kind of like, alright, I'm going to put the Ulta brand sunscreen on pretty much everywhere, and then I will put this on my shoulders just because it's an extra boost of sunscreen. And my arms got burnt, my legs got a little pink, my chest right here got pretty red and pink. And that was everywhere that I applied the Ulta brand sunscreen, but my shoulders were perfect. And I think this is really the only thing that kind of prevented them from getting burnt. I wish I would have just used a different sunscreen on myself, because I'm thinking the Ulta brand one just didn't cut it. But they were both SPF 30. This one is SPF 30 and the Ulta brand one I had was SPF 30. So I don't know, this worked so much better. It was kind of funny because when my arms had originally gotten burnt, I kind of had like this I don't know, call it splotchy, but kind of this like weird like wavy line of where I had applied this and just kind of stopped. And it wasn't just like, you know, an even line, it was just kind of like me blending it in my skin. So I had like this weird line of where it was like red from the Ulta brand sunscreen and where it was like perfectly fine from this. But this is a great moisturizer. Besides that, it is a really nice, it's really lightweight. The only thing I don't like is it does feel a little greasy, so it's hard for me to wear under makeup. But most of the time if I'm reaching for this, I know I'm not going to be wearing makeup. I just want my face to feel protected from the sun. So this is a really, really nice moisturizer. It has a nice citrus scent to it as well. I love the scent of it. It smells like citrus and a little bit of a sunblock smell. But I love this. So I'm glad I used this on my shoulders because that could have been really, really bad. I know my chest and my arms were pretty bad for a few days. They're fine now, but at first it was not fun. So love that. This was the foundation I used, I would say, pretty good majority of the month. This is the Ulta brand, the Mineral Powder Foundation. I wore this under the Tarte BB Tinted Treatment Primer. I love this so much. It just, I don't know how to explain it. It just makes your skin look so just beautiful. It doesn't look like foundation too much either. It looks just like nice, like skin. But the other thing I love about this is that because it's a powder, it does keep me matte. And it has kept me matte better than most of my liquid foundations do with a setting powder on top. So wearing this month was probably one of the only foundations that I actually stayed pretty matte throughout the day. But the thing that's nice about this is it does have a little bit of a sheen, a little bit of a glow to it. So I had a nice glow to it, but I stayed pretty matte, if that kind of makes sense. My natural oils weren't coming through and making me glowy and dewy. It was the foundation making me glowy and dewy. So that was kind of nice, and like I said, it was just one of the only foundations I feel like this month that really did help with my oils and actually lasted really well throughout the day. So this was a huge favorite for me. I'll talk about the Tarte BB Tinted Treatment Primer in a minute, but this was a huge favorite. I love this. This is just one of my summer favorite essential items. This is the Urban Decay Single Shadow in X. It's a pretty peach color with like a gold shimmer to it. But this just looks so beautiful with so many different eye looks, and it's one of those colors that's just really pretty to just throw on by itself and go. But like I said, this is just a summer essential for me, whether it's just throwing it on the lid by itself or pairing it with like some darker colors in the crease. It's stunning. It's just, I can never get over it. It's just always, in my opinion, the perfect summer color. So I'll try to give you guys a swatch, but I know every time I do this, I feel like the camera never does it any justice. It's super, super pretty though, and of course it's Urban Decay, so the pigmentation is good, the formula is good. It's not glittery, it's just shimmer, so it's a nice formula. You don't have to worry about glitter fallout and that kind of thing. But this is just definitely a huge summer essential for me, and I had kind of forgot about it June. And I think I started using it like the last half of July, and I was like, man, I wish I would have pulled this out way sooner because it's so good, and I always forget how good it is. So this, I was obsessed with this last month. This is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner in Get Paid. This, I've used it before, and what I did with it was I put it on my upper lash line, and then I just did a nice little wing with it, and it was super, super beautiful. I think the colors that I did on the lid were pretty much just matte eyeshadow, so that way the liner could really be the standout like focus of the eye look. And it's beautiful, love it, it's gorgeous. I would definitely do that again. However, the new way that I discovered to wear this month was on my lower lash line. Well, actually on my lower waterline, really. I've been wearing so many gold, bronze, coppery eye looks lately, especially panning my Anastasia Catwalk palette, the copper color in there. I've been using that a lot lately. And I just found that when I go to do my lower waterline, I'm like, I don't really want to do a black, I don't really want to do a brown, and I don't really want to leave it naked or do a nude eyeliner. I want something there, but I just don't quite know what. That's where this comes in. It's just super, super beautiful. On the lower waterline, it's like super metallic looking, and it just really catches the light, and it actually does kind of help open up your eyes a little bit too, since it's not like a dark eyeliner, and it's not, I can't think of the word I want, but it's, you know, when you do darker eyeliner, sometimes it kind of just makes your eyes seem smaller. This doesn't have that effect, but it does give you enough like definition. So this I love. I'm actually really impressed too with how creamy it is. I've always kind of expected it to be on the dry side, but every time I use it, I'm pleasantly surprised by how like creamy it actually is. So this, again, another huge favorite. Don't think I could have got through the month without this. This is a favorite that kind of came more at the end of the month, so this is something that probably would be more of an honorable mention. But this is the Too Faced Melted Liquid Lipstick in Melted Strawberry. So I've owned this for quite a while. It was one of those things that I saw another beauty guru wearing it, and I was like, yes, like it's such a beautiful strawberry red, like I need that. And I wore it a few times, and I'm like, okay, it's pretty, but I just don't love the formula. It's not, in my opinion, the longest lasting formula. It is one of those lip colors that wears off with grace though, so it's not like you, like for example, if I'm eating something, I don't have like red outline. It just kind of, I don't know, the color just kind of fades away, and I just have like a nice, like very subtle little stain to my lips. So it is something that wears off with grace, but I was like, I just kind of don't love how the formula is. I ended up wearing this when we went to go see Suicide Squad. I just was like, okay, like I'm not going to go all out and do the Harley Quinn makeup, but give me some red lips. And obviously I'm panning red lips in my Project Pan, but I was just like, you know, I just really want to switch it up. I'm trying to declutter my lip products. Let me try this one out, and just, you know, that'll kind of help me too with decluttering things. If I try it out, if I don't like it, I know I can declutter it. If I do like it, then I'm going to end up keeping it. Which is what happened. I ended up loving this. Like I said, it is the most beautiful berry red color. And the formula was so hydrating and just creamy, and it felt really, really wonderful and comfortable for all of the night. And then, like I said, when it wears off nicely. It doesn't leave that awkward like outline around your lips. But I didn't pair it with a lip liner, so I think if I would have paired it with a lip liner, that would have been an issue. But because I didn't, I think it just wore off a lot more graceful. So that is it there. You can see it's just a beautiful, like, bright red. And then as it kind of shears out, it is a little bit more of a berry color. Like I can see down here, it's a little bit more sheer, and it's a little more, just a little more berry, but it's like a light berry. I don't know. Anyways, this I really liked. It's just so comfortable, and I just kept wanting to just like drench my lips in it because it feels so good and because the color is so beautiful. So this I kind of am obsessed with. I'm really tempted to pick up more, but I'm telling myself no, because I don't need 10 more lip colors. So this I do love, and I'm pleasantly surprised with that one this month. I recently went to Sephora, and I just kind of walked in to see, you know, what's new. I rarely ever go to Sephora. The nearest one for me is 45 minutes to an hour away. There's actually two that are 45 minutes to an hour away, and I'm just like, yeah, I just don't really go there that much. I like their website, but I think it's a little overwhelming sometimes because they have so many brands and that kind of thing. So a lot of times I like to personally just go in store and look. So we happened to be in town and I was like, you know, we have to go to Sephora, and my boyfriend's just like, really? I'm like, yes, like I don't get to go into Sephora that often. When I worked where the Sephora was, I got to go there a lot more frequently, but then, you know, when I transferred, I didn't really get to go there that much anymore. And I was like, I just want to see what's new. So we walked in, new Kat Von D products were out, her new concealer, her new setting powder. They might have had even the repackaged Lock-It foundations out there too, and I think there was a couple new brushes and stuff. But I was just kind of looking around, checking everything out. I swatched this and I was like, oh, I want this. And my boyfriend's like, you know, you bought stuff for me, you bought stuff for our son, like go ahead and get yourself something. Like you obviously, like sometimes he has to tell me to do that because sometimes I'm just like, no, I shouldn't spend the money on myself. So sometimes he has to tell me to do that. It's not like he was giving me permission, just to clarify that. But I swatched it and I was like, ooh, I really want this. He's like, go ahead and get it. Like you've already, you know, you spent money on us today, spend something on yourself. So this is what I ended up picking up. I had heard a couple good reviews for it and I was just like, okay, but it's just like a translucent setting powder. Like how is it really that special? I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it. Mine is a little bit of a mess right now. So there's powder everywhere, but it has like this slight sheen to it. I put it under this red lip color, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it there. It just has this really slight sheen and it's so soft. So I was like, this is basically a radiant setting powder in a better version than the NYX one that I have. If you have a like liquid foundation and you want it to stay a little bit more radiant, this should kind of help with that. I just love how finely milled it is and how it looks on my under eyes. That's mostly what I use it for. I didn't use it today. I used my NYX one because I need to finish the next one, but I've had a really hard time prying myself from using this one and making myself use the NYX one because this one is just so nice. It just feels like velvet on the under eyes. It's so wonderful. The other thing that I was a little bit concerned about is, and my viewfinder is kind of making it look white, is that most translucent powders are white. And when you take photos and stuff, it looks white. And I'm like, you know, I'm fair enough that I might be able to pull that off, but I don't want it to look white on my under eyes. I want it to still look like skin. So when I actually saw this in store and I saw that it's actually an off-white color, I was like, okay, that's a lot more, in my opinion, a more usable product because I don't want a white powder. It kind of reminds me, it's got like a slight yellow tint to it. It's very slight because like I said, it's kind of more of just an off-white powder, but I don't know. This I'm obsessed with already, and I feel like I've barely used it because it's only been a few weeks that I've owned it, but it's like a holy grail favorite for me now, I think, because I love it so much for my under eyes. I have used it all over the face, and I really like it for that as well, but I kind of tried to save it more for the under eyes since this powder is like 30 bucks, I think, so I was like, oh, since it's a little more pricey, I'll try to just save it for the under eyes. And because it kind of has that radiance aspect to it, I feel like it helps kind of brighten up under here. So this I'm obsessed with already, even though I haven't had it too terribly long. While I was at Sephora too, I decided to try out a new foundation. But I wasn't going to buy one. I was like, I'm just going to get a sample of one and just try it out. And kind of the reason for this was that Taylor, she did her 15 days of foundation. If you haven't watched her series of that, you really should, because she tries out a different foundation every day for 15 days and just kind of gives you a kind of like check-ins throughout the day, you know, how did it wear. She has like cystic acne and oily skin, so you do get to see how well it covers, how well it holds up on oily skin. She does actually have, I think, a couple dry patches up on her forehead too, so she kind of talks a little bit with some foundations how it kind of clings to those dry patches and that kind of thing. So it's kind of just a nice, like, she's just really good at reviewing foundations. People loved it so much that they requested that she keeps doing it, so she is going to keep doing it. But I know in past videos before 15 days of foundation she had talked about this one, so I swatched it in the store and I was like, oh my god, I need to try this like now. This is the Marc Jacobs Remarkable Foundation. I got mine in shade number 10, which is the lightest one. I think she actually said she has 10 and 12 because 10 is too fair for her. 10 is a pretty good match for me. It's a little light, but I mean, I can always mix, you know, Bare Minerals Bare Skin bronzer with it, or something to darken up, or I can just bronze up my face a little bit. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to tell. I'll try to show you guys. This is kind of a more oily foundation, or at least it makes me think it's a little bit more oily. It seems a little more oily. But it really surprised me with how supremely lightweight it is and how fast it completely covers every imperfection. When I wore this foundation, I didn't even put on concealer because I just didn't need it, and I was like, if I don't need it, I'm not putting it on. It's just so, I'm just so impressed with it. There's just a swatch of it there. I'm just so crazy impressed with this foundation. But the reason I was kind of looking for a new foundation is I was trying to decide like what I would possibly want to wear on my wedding day. And I'm kind of thinking this might be it, because this held up super well. In addition, I was thinking that since it does seem like it's a little bit more of an oily foundation, it probably wasn't going to hold up supremely well on my oily skin, but it did a fantastic job. I paired it with the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Primer, and I was completely blown away. So this I will probably pick up in the future. Not going to be anytime super soon because I do have kind of a lot of foundations right now. But like I said, I'm kind of looking at this as like a wedding foundation, something I would use for that. And I'm pretty impressed. This I loved so far. I'm going to keep testing it out a little bit, but right now I'm obsessed and loving this foundation. On to some products this month that just didn't really work and were kind of fails for me. First up, like I said, I've been decluttering my lip products, so I've been kind of going through, wearing them all once, seeing what I think. This is the Urban Decay Revolution Lip Gloss in Bittersweet. It's this beautiful, fun, bright purple color. I actually got this as gratis when these came out for free, so I was like, cool, like I got the fun, bright color that I kind of wanted to try. However, this just isn't very good. I put on a, kind of mid-tone pink color for a lip liner, and then I popped this on top, and it just was patchy. It's patchy without lip liner, it's patchy with lip liner. I was trying it with a lip liner thinking maybe that would help a little bit, because I know there are some lip products that they just do work better when I pair them with a lip liner, but this just, it's not. It's just bad. I think that if you've got a more sheer color or more nude color, it would probably be good. Or I know I do have another one that the formula is a little bit better. It's not quite as patchy, but this, I can't. I don't understand. It's just not good. Plus it has a really strong like chemical scent. They've always had a strong chemical scent because I kind of thought mine was going bad, but it's always had that scent. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell it's patchy there in the swatch because I kind of smoothed it out with the applicator, but it just does not apply evenly or nicely. However, they do feel super nice on your lips. They feel super cushiony, hydrating, maybe a little bit buttery, but a little thicker than like the butter glosses. The butter glosses to me feel incredibly like smooth and stuff, and buttery obviously, but these do feel a little thicker, like they have a little more stick to them to make them last a little longer, wear a little bit better. But this one, it's just not good. The color is just not, it's just not good. Plus it actually really doesn't look that good on me, which I'm pretty, like lip colors, there's very few that I feel like I don't like on myself, but this is just one of them that I'm like, it doesn't look good on me. The formula is patchy, so this is definitely going to be in my declutter and on its way out, but I thought I'd mention that it's just not the best color in the line. This I talked about in my concealer, foundation, all that kind of up declutter. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer. I picked this up, I think it was in January. January or February, but I don't know. At the time I think I really liked it, and upon using it this last month, because I was like, I'm just going to use it and see what I think of it. If I don't like it, I'm going to declutter it. If I do like it, I'm going to keep it. And I decided I don't like it. I really don't have that much product left though, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish it off. But the thing I do like about this though, I will say this, is that it is very light. This is really great for fair skin. Mine is in the color Y21, which I believe is the lightest color. I was super excited that I had found a concealer that was finally like really light on my skin, besides like the Urban Decay one or the Too Faced one. Too Faced one wasn't out when I purchased this obviously, but when I purchased it I was super excited that it was a very fair concealer. However, the reason I don't like it is it's just not good coverage for a concealer. This is coverage I would expect from maybe like a foundation, but not a concealer. For example, let's say I put on my Urban Decay Naked Skin or a BB cream or something. Most of my freckles right through here are still going to show. And I normally kind of want my concealer to kind of cover those a little bit because this is like where I like to highlight, and I don't know, I just want my freckles concealed right in this area. I don't mind some days them showing and whatnot, but like if I'm going full glam, like I want this area kind of concealed so you'll see my highlighter and not notice like my freckles so much. And this just doesn't cover it. It's just like I put like a medium coverage foundation on. I'm not impressed with this. The consistency is nice, it blends out really nicely. I've tried using it with a brush, I've tried using it with a beauty blender. It's always just medium coverage, and I'm like, okay, so this is not really doing anything except for maybe brightening up this a little bit. It's not really covering it, it's just kind of brightening since it's such a light color. But I'm not in love with this. I am just going to finish it because like I said, I don't really have that much left, so I might as well just go ahead and finish it off. But I won't be repurchasing that one just because I'm kind of disappointed with the coverage of it. Next up is the Tarte BB Tinted Treatment Primer. I went through several tubes of these in the past, and I've kind of slowed down on using it, but basically it's like a silicone primer and a BB cream mixed together. It helps even out your skin, but it has that kind of silicone-y like feeling to it. And I don't know, maybe this tube is just not good anymore. It doesn't seem any different in any way. Like it hasn't changed scent, it hasn't changed consistency. I have a little bit of it there on my wrist. And I mean, it's incredibly smooth and it just really makes your skin look nice. Like it helps even out the color, it helps fill in pores, and normally it's pretty long lasting. But I just feel like this time around of using it, it just never set on my skin. So I was for a while pairing it with the Ulta Mineral Powder Foundation, and they were nice together, but at the same time I just felt like this was not, it just wasn't setting. Whether there's powder on top of it or not, it just was like I could wipe it and it was just sliding off. So I had to quit using this and pair something else with the Ulta Mineral Powder Foundation. But I mean, other times that I've used this besides with this, other times I've used this recently, I just feel like it's, again, not really, it's just not really working for me. It's just not setting. So I've had a little bit of issues with this, so I'm probably going to be panning this and getting rid of it, which is okay because I don't think it'll take me too long since it is like a primer. It's kind of got that silicone-y feeling to it. So I hopefully will be able to make this work and be able to finish it off. This last product, I've talked about this in a haul video. This is the OPI New Orleans collection. This is just the little minis. I love getting the minis. I hate buying the full-size bottles because I know I'm not going to use them completely up and that kind of thing, and they'll go bad. I have talked about before how OPI's old formula was really, really fantastic, but things that you buy now from them just kind of suck. And I heard that that's because the old formula was genuinely like OPI's formula, and that anything you buy now is because Sally Hansen had bought them a few years ago and Sally Hansen changed the formula. That's what I've heard. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm just not impressed with these. The colors are beautiful. I love them. There's Got Myself Into a Jambalaya, Take It Right on Bourbon, I'm So Swamped, and Show Us Your Tips. So I have Show Us Your Tips on my toes, and I have Got Myself Into a Jambalaya on my hands. So I feel like it probably looks really nice right now, but it took 3 coats to get this to look nice. And an old OPI formula would take like 2. It was just super, super streaky and patchy and just uneven. And the formula was actually a little bit thick, which is surprising because these are brand new. I'd never opened them. So I was a little not happy about this one. To Show Us Your Tips, this formula was thinner, but it's a sheer glitter color. And I was kind of like, oh, was not expecting this to be sheer. Because in the bottle, obviously, it looks like a nice pigmented blue. So I thought it was going to be a nice pigmented blue with like a slight like silver shimmer or sheen to it. And no, it was sheer. So this one as well, I had to do like 3 or 4 coats with to kind of build up the color. Even now on my toes, it looks pretty sheer. So this is something I'd probably have to layer over like another blue nail polish or something, which is kind of disappointing because I thought it was going to be pigmented. I have not got to try these two colors. This one I've kind of played with before and it seems like it's really nice, so that's good. The I'm So Swamped I'm hoping is going to be really good. I'm hoping it's not going to be streaky like I got myself into a jambalaya. That way these two would at least be good and the other two would be a little bit kind of duds, but I don't know. I can use them, I can make them work. It's just that this is not the normal great formula that OPI comes out with. They did just launch their Washington DC collection, which is the fall one, and they have some really beautiful colors in that, but I just don't know if I'm going to pick them up because if the formula is not going to be good, I don't know that I want to pick them up. So I'm kind of torn on that, but this just was a little bit of a letdown for me. So that is everything that I was loving and hating this month. Like I said, it was kind of a wishy-washy month. Some things were just amazing and other things I'm like, this is just not good. But anyways, that is it for this video, and I thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!